Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution, a game in early access on Steam, made by the folks at Game Labs. In today's video, we are returning to episode number 36 of this Let's Play series, playing as the Americans in the American Revolution, and the war had been going swimmingly. We had basically taken over the entire map north of New York. Then the British landed in New York with 20,000 men. We spent the last month trying to fight them off. And just as it seemed like we were about to finish the British off around New York, the British send about 7,000 troops into Canada. Just as they send the 7,000 troops into Canada, they land about 6,000 troops in Falmouth in the northeast. And now they are landing more troops at Castine, I believe it is. And the whole situation is coming apart at the seams. Our strategic situation has gone from great to not so great. It's not, the fall or winter of 1776 historically, where, Washington's army was pushed to the brink of destruction, but it is not pretty. We are scrambling in today's episode to try and stave off the enemy counterattacks. We're about to lead a battle in Canada, which we had also conquered, with General Henry Knox, against a lone British regiment. But again, that's where we find ourselves currently, and we'll see if we can stem the tide, if we can put things back together. But that'll be for this episode and future episodes to determine. So this was taken from a live stream on my Twitch channel. If you're interested in following those, yada, 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 link in the description. You can head on over there. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Nice little grand battery action. Trying to get my troops up and around their flank. Maybe the enemy won't. I don't know. Probably taking, by deploying two companies up here all by themselves, I'm certainly taking more casualties than I would like. But the goal is to keep them in the fight long enough so that we can wipe them out, right? I'd rather lose 150 or 200 men if it means I kill 600 than 50 if I kill 50, you know? Well, there they go. Hang in there long enough. We should at least be able to get the guns, usually, anyway. Who's this dude? What are you doing? Just holding your flag there. Not so glorious, Sev, but, you know. Hey, good job, boys. You captured them. Right, we got one company. Got the artillery. Badly shooting up another company. Damn it, I thought you were gonna get those guys. I look away for a second and they're escaping. I don't really have enough horse production for cavalry to be a meaningful part of my army, unfortunately. Alright, so we had 2,000 men deployed. We lost 60. They lost 400 men. So still pretty good ratios there. They lost about 2/3 of their force. Maybe we can finish off the rest on the strategic map before they can retreat anywhere. Destroying a regiment will be nice. We at least destroyed a couple of companies. One for sure. Maybe two. There we go. Got the whole regiment. There you go, boys. Good job. One enemy regiment down. We're approaching New York. They've, at this point, taken Portsmouth and Falmouth back from us. We know they're sending troops out toward maybe Stevens, Lovell, Rice, Leicester, somewhere in that area. Hertford now has replenished up to 400 of those boys. And that other regiment that was under strength, we'll send them up to Boston. We'll try and make a counterattack against Salem. Maybe isolate another enemy regiment and destroy it. This will because of the way the enemy seems to be spreading their force out for garrisons, this may well turn into a bit of whack-a-mole. We shall see. Specialist recruitment still hasn't occurred. We haven't gotten past that one day yet. All right. Take those supplies and then fall back with your 2,000 men knocks on Montreal. Apparently the Quebec soldiers have fallen back to Troyes, which the enemy that was up here in the north and moving toward Troyes never did. They went southwest toward Lévis. So perhaps we can make a play for Quebec. That would leave Montreal a little unopen. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Aim true.
All right, go get the boys. Here we go, boys. The final battle to temporarily secure New York for us. 1,900 enemy soldiers and Hempstead in command versus 2,600 friendlies and another 200 that could come in as reinforcements from New York. Hauser, you're really focusing on one incident. One single suicidal cavalry charge. It's not like I've done it more than once. I thought cavalry was more powerful than that, you know? All right, so let's merge these boys. Oh, I can combine 3 into 1? That's cool. Okay. Interesting. All right. So the enemy is straight ahead of me. Cobra, thanks for the follow. Let's put our guns. We've got a little bit of cover here, so this is what we're going to do. We'll put our artillery pieces in these little clumps of trees. Basically just form a front line of all guns. We will put 200 soldiers in this unit on their left flank. Move these guys over a little bit. 200 on their right flank. A company behind. 2 companies behind the guns. 300 on the far right. So what I'm going to try and do here, let the enemy come forward. If they try and come for the guns, then we will just advance these guys into their flank. We'll keep the supply wagons, at least most of them, close to the guns so the guns never run out of ammo. And we'll go from there. So these guys get up over on this flank. What did that say up here on the upper left? I didn't see. Why are those gunners moving all the way over there? Do that have room? Oh, here they come. Where are these gunners going? Oh, they're setting up over here. Okay. Don't want to let these sharpshooters get too much of our guns, so we're going to move the infantry in on their flank right away. Nice. Those light troops are already basically dead. Nope, don't chase. Just stay back here. Let the enemy come to you, boys. A lot of these enemy companies are already in real rough shape. You can see them mostly are all under 100 men. And the fact that I've like supercharged the size of my regiments here, combining them so that they're almost all 250 or more, is going to mean some really devastating volleys. See, now these guys are engaging these 50 troops. Meanwhile, 4 batteries of artillery or 3 batteries of artillery just pouring it into them. And they just quickly rout. These guys are going to be gone after one volley, I would think. Send some reserves up to the right where things are a little bit more even. This also gives my guns a clear field of fire for the most part. Retreat toward me. I'm okay with that. Jesus. They're gonna melee me? What are they doing? No, boys. They tricked you into shooting at your own men. Alright, well, they're all dead. Alright, so this right flank company of ours is the one in trouble. But we're still shattering these small enemy companies here. And these guns all here can mostly fire over our shoulder and into the enemy flank. pretty much broke their army in two. Alright, let's move these guys up and around. Alright, so they got some more reserves coming up, but this battle's definitely trending in our favor. We'll keep pushing toward Fraser's position. Canister fire in this rank here, but they survived it, so I don't think the enemy artillery will survive until then. Nope, it's already been pushed off its guns. So this one company on the right did lose 40 men, so that was not a cheap fight, but they held the right flank. Can they get those POWs out of there? They're gonna run right through my lines while they're getting shot at because I'm trying to keep the enemy off them, off their flank, from retaking them. A lot of proud British colors are being lost in this one. There's another company. Put in the 20 men. They're all gonna die. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure the bad guys are out of range. My artillery looks like it stopped firing, but whatever. These 50 artillerymen are just infantry now. They already abandoned their guns. Now they're POWs. Well, we got some artillery that fired into some of those bad guys there. Go charge. You've got the stamina probably to run them down. Probably gonna push Fraser into the sea again the way that we did with, was it Gage? Anyway, Hauser, regarding that disastrous charge, I'm just going to pretend it in fact saved the army. The enemy was coming up, things were getting dicey. A little bit like, you know, Eylau? Is that how you pronounce the Napoleonic battle where they had that huge cavalry charge that like delayed them long enough? So I'm going to pretend that that charge stopped the enemy advance effectively right in front of our guns, so we could you know, turn multiple rounds of canister into him and effectively turn the day. So that cavalry charge was heroic. It saved the day. You know, if we hadn't forced them to stop their advance, it'd have been over. We'd have lost. And the revolution would already be over. We would have already lost. Just fire. 200 muskets versus 20 men. They'll shatter. Literally, just shoot them. The dudes on the flank can shoot them. God, you're wheeling so slow. I literally just wanted you to fire your muskets. All right. So we deployed 2,500 men at New York. We lost 314 of them. The British deployed 1,900. They lost about 1,000 between captured and killed. So they got about 900 left, which I assume will all surrender when they have nowhere to go on the strategic map. It is interesting how often winners do not write the history.
Press the attack.
Often the losers write the history in... I think the reason for that is often the winners want to reconcile with the losers. You know, they want peace. And so as a result, they allow the losers to write the history. That's where a lot of like the clean Wehrmacht stuff comes, right? Is the goal to allow the Germans to sort of rehabilitate themselves because they're needed in the Cold War. All right. Hempstead, you go do that. Butcher took New York at least. Same kind of thing happens, right, with the Civil War, with the rehabilitation of the Confederates. Negotiations in the shadows. I don't know anything about the Brown Bess 78, other than I don't really want to spend the money on so few weapons. Did they take the city yet? Fog of War and all? Alright, Hawkins, get back into...
Advance quickly.
Did we get those specialists out yet? We did. Okay. So the enemy has 2,700 troops at Salem. We'll have about 2,700 when these 400 troops under Priestley arrive. So the British have retaken Fort Stevens now. It's like the war's completely flipped on its head. They're sending a garrison to Lyman. Looks like they're attacking Fort George. They'll probably retake everything up here in the northeast. Alright, so Hempstead's ours, New York is ours. The Butcher is a hero once more. So now the question is, with these troops in the south, do we send, 1,600 of them north to help Benedict Arnold? I think we do. I think that's the answer. Because what is this, 3,300 between Sparrow and Salem? I think we send 1,600 men north. They can probably retake Stevens, Rice, Lovell, whatever gets lost in there. Maybe Lyman. Hold the line there. The alternative is trying to push inland. I need more specialists, but I don't have them. All right. We can simplify our logistics, though, if we can take Augusta, Easton, and Penn. Because then we can just... That'll be a new front against Sullivan, Newtown, Stamford. Maybe it'll free up some troops to go elsewhere. Let's see what's at Penn right now.
Advance.
The north will be British. Are you kidding me? The north coast. 1,300 in cast iron. 2,000 arrive by sea somewhere. 1,300 more arriving by sea. Okay. This seems a little absurd. $2,400 troops. Killed more people than live in London. Yeah, that's what it feels like. What's the diplomacy situation? Where do I see the British strength again? I don't know where I go. Where do I hover? Oh, here. British have a huge navy. Yeah, no shit. The British Army slightly outnumbers us. Okay. Also, am I the only one who finds it incredibly annoying how the game automatically unpauses anytime you do certain activities? Just like not things that don't even make sense to unpause. All right, so 2,400 at Fort Penn, huh? Okay. Pull these 600 men under Dayton out. Send them to go join Benedict Arnold up in Boston. I mean, with all these troops arriving in Cassine, for sure we're going to lose everything up here. And it's all going to be re-garrisoned, and we're going to have to somehow whittle them down. But do they get like a full army every month? Like, because that's kind of crazy if they get every month. Because as the map gets bigger, it becomes a lot harder to bottle off segments of it. All right, we're going to pull those 600 of Dayton out. Leave the 200 as a garrison. Pull Aspirin, whatever his name is, brigade out. To go to Fort Penn. Link up with the militia up here. I mean, I guess I'll just ignore up there, right? Just go for Fort Penn with the troops we've got down south. Where's this fighting going on? Shit, are they attacking? No. Who's getting shot at? I wish the game would tell me. Just Fort George, because, like, whatever. Can I do more specialist yet? No. Okay. Great. Money is not the problem right now. The money is it is the lack of soldiers that is the problem.
Aim true.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin and France. Okay. All right, let's. You know what? Screw that. I want to wait. Let's let them fight outside the fort without me. And then can we fight the actual battle now? All right, let's go. We'd be in much better shape if we didn't have that specialist bottleneck. We've got the money to raise a whole bunch more troops to deal with these attacks. We don't have specialists. And I get, like, we invested heavily in colleges, but, like, now some of those towns are under British occupation, so. All right. I didn't realize you could merge 3 companies. Give me the nuclear divisions, because I'm all over the mega-sized divisions. I think 300 is the largest they can be, though. Come at me, bro. Let me destroy you in front of the walls. Another bad weather battle.
Hold the line.
Let's move those guns and supply wagons up. If they don't come at me, I'll try and surround the fort and wipe them out. If they do come at me, then I'll fight them and drive them back into the fort and then maybe surround the fort and wipe them out. Not sure which. Let's take the 1 unit, though, and try and get them around the fort now. Just because they'll take a long way to go the long route. I would have thought the enemy would be coming at me. They usually do, but maybe not. Maybe they want to sit back in their fort. Maybe they don't actually see me. The weather may make visibility difficult. I don't know if Finish is around. Finish usually runs those polls, to be honest. They're there. I don't think they see me. You can see my troops have the little eyeball with the cross over it. I don't know that they know to advance because they don't know where I am. Which, while these troops march to the flank, kind of suits my purposes. I gotta be careful of detaching too many of my men. Just because we don't have a huge manpower advantage over them. Present fire! Alright, I'm moving my guns up and around. I'm moving a handful of regiments up and around. We'll see if the troops I left behind can hold. Once these guns get into action, I would think that would help. Guess we're not going to probably go up and around the whole line. We'll see. They're charging my guns. No! Well, that's what happens when you get yourself all dispersed, I guess. Why are you guys meleeing? Just fire canister into your own boys. And my boys are getting caught in the friendly fire. Well, I'm destroying my own guns. Okay. Back on the damn guns. I don't want you shooting. I want you firing canister. And that was not a good result. Artillery shattered. At least 2-3 companies of artillery shattering. Hey, there one battery fired its canister. I don't know where these guys are. That was not a good result. Hey, we captured 72 enemy soldiers. Alright, another 70 men captured. guys routed from the map. Alright, so we have 3 batteries of guns left. Okay. Alright. Alright, I don't think the fort is as imposing a target as it might be otherwise, or might have thought it to be.
Regroup here.
Alright, boys, keep pushing. This is not going to be as pretty of a fight as I would have hoped. I think we'll still win this thing, but it's definitely going to be bloodier than was necessary. The only good thing is because this is a level 1 fort, it doesn't have the interior walls, so the artillery is much less imposing because they're not firing on that sort of internal citadel over our shoulders. Okay. Drove some of those gunners off their guns. Good news there. You guys should shatter this company pretty quick, wouldn't you? Pretty heavily outnumbered. I think we're still out of canister range for these guns. Go rally them. More ammo for the guns. Alright, those guys are routing from the map. So the odds continue to tilt in our favor. Not pretty, but it is working. That militia company's gonna get shot to pieces. I feel like the mega companies are paying off. Okay. Opening routing from the map. Alright. Well, definitely a fight that we took way too many casualties, but Fort Penn will be ours. I got the one unit on the long march. Is that what you're talking about? I think I stopped everybody's long march. I don't think anybody's left out there doing anything. When the enemy came at me, and I was not prepared for that, I pulled most of those dudes back. Cannons are moving forward. That's why they're not firing. They're firing now. But they were repositioning. They kind of have an angle to shoot through between our lines without hitting our own men. Up and over the walls, boys. Anybody who's got the strength. They're going to try and move into the fort and retake the soldiers I just captured from them. But they didn't have the strength to do it. So we drove one of them off the map and shattered the other. And the battle's just about done here, I think. Somehow the enemy hasn't decided it's done yet, but I don't know that they've got anything left. There we go. Victory. Can you guys force these men to surrender? Not sure why those enemies are just stuck there. Okay, we got them. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we lost about a third of our men, 830 men out of 2,400. We also lost 6 guns. The enemy, on the other hand, lost over 1,800 of 2,300, so near apocalyptic losses for them. Still another victory for the Americans in the south. So while things are looking pretty bleak in the north, at least in the south, things are still sort of headed in the right direction. Maybe. Let's see if we can quickly move in here and take Fort Penn. Maybe even cause some of these boys to surrender. They're probably going to retreat to Easton, I would guess.
Charge forward.
So let's go see what's at Easton. Boys, just go take the fort. I don't think you've got the strength to delay. So Easton will have about 1,000 men. That'll be their last position in the south here. Well, I guess Fort Augusta still too. Okay. Where's that fight going on? Up in the northeast? George? Frank? Halifax? Cast Iron? All those places are falling, which I guess is... You know, frankly, we might as well leave some of these unoccupied. It's like, why bother, you know? You could try and retake them, or you could save the specialists, draw and recruit somewhere else. Pownell was lost. Penn. Okay. All right. So, Easton we can probably take. Morristown makes sense to leave a garrison at. It is the capital after all. Take these supplies and then we'll move these 1,500 troops down to try and finish off the British at Easton. Specialists, yes, I need them.
Hold the line.
Cast Iron is lost.
Flank them.
If they want to come fight you, Butcher, that's more than welcome. George is lost.
Press the attack.
We already routed them.
Flank them.
Where are they going to retreat to anyway? Augusta, maybe? Okay. Looks like the British are... A lot of that regiment is gone. Not what I wanted to do. Alright, so we're more likely to force them into a surrender of the whole regiment if we fight on the tactical battle, it would say. Oh, never mind. Just as I say that, we do. Can you go get Hudson's, boys? You at least take an Easton.
Keep moving.
There you go. Alright, Easton is ours. We destroyed about 500 of the defenders there. We'll take those supplies. Okay. What's Benedict Arnold up to? He's got 3,000. The enemy's up to 4,000. So the enemy is forming a large force in front. Oh, no. 3,600. Okay. So Arnold is making progress in building his army up. Almost all regulars, too. There's one militia company here, but these guys are the 3rd New Jersey. Regular. So almost all of these boys are regulars. Who doesn't have enough guns? We'll have to go look at that. But it is October of 1776. Things aren't quite as gloomy as they were historically, but certainly much gloomier than they were just a few minutes ago. Nonetheless, we have taken Easton. We can now push inland to Augusta, perhaps. Use the 300 troops at Wyoming to bolster our forces and go in there with 1,600 men. And retake the south. Although I'm guessing some of these Canadian forces are being pushed in to stem our advance and the tide. Have to pull some of these troops out. Clinton's also reinforced some of its boys. I have no specialists at all, so they must have been drawn from somewhere, but I'm not sure where. We're going to need to pull Knox to do something. Maybe in an attempt to retake Quebec. They haven't taken Norwalk yet. They've taken George, Falmouth, Pownal, Castine. They're in the process of taking Villeminsk, and then they'll take Mataguk next, I would assume. They've also taken Falmouth. I keep seeing rumors of troops headed in toward Lyman, although that hasn't materialized yet. Fort Stevens has fallen. They haven't pushed to Leicester or any of these towns in here. So I think the next step will be to hope that if we push... do we know what they have at Salem? No cavalry. Lots of regulars. But maybe if we push in with our troops at Boston, maybe we'll have an artillery advantage. Maybe we can just win by being better. You know, slight manpower advantage. Let the enemy come to you, destroy him, retake Salem, regain the initiative, push north, maybe retake Portsmouth. Maybe we can stem the tide, at least the forces pushing south. And we can slowly work our way back up to the north again. Although if the enemy's going to get another reinforcement next month of another 7,000 men, God help us. I want to campaign with Knox. I just worry about leaving Montreal unguarded. Like, I don't... So I suppose we could leave like 400 men behind, but 2,000 men moving toward Quebec probably won't be enough to retake it unless these guys really have moved inland. But I guess we'll have to wait until next time to find that out because we've been going for almost an hour now. So actually, if you're watching this today on YouTube, we'll be streaming tonight probably, picking things up right here. I've sort of caught up with the live stream. So if you're interested in those, again, tonight, probably around 9 to 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, we'll be starting. But until then, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.